Planet Zoo, Planet Zoo, it's time to play Planet Zoo. Hey, welcome back to Planet Zoo. This is Martini 4. We are back here at Talbot National Zoo. This is the second time I have tried this recording because I forgot to plug my mic in last time, so that's awesome. So you'll see we are working on a sea lion habitat right here outside of the herpetarium that we just finished building. The little information center slash shelter area for this is going to be this round building here. The outside ring of the roof is tilted inward, so I figured it would need some drainage, so I put some like drain decals in there with some gutters underneath. I was hoping the gutters would work out better, and I kind of play with those a little bit on the inside, but they didn't really line up and look good at all. So it's an implied drainage system. So yeah, it took me a little while. I'm not that great at round buildings. Yeah, it took me a few tries to figure out how to do it, so it didn't look horrible. There were some things that didn't line up perfectly, like where the glass is. I don't know why, but it didn't line up around that top part there. So you don't really get to see it that much though, unless you're actually like flying around and looking at it up close. But yeah, there's the finished outside of the building, just kind of the basic framework of it. It took me almost all week to do this, so I was kind of stopping and starting a lot. So yeah, sorry about all the jumping around and forgetting to hit the record button on some things, but you kind of get the idea. So here I'm using this path as kind of a reference, because I want the sea lions to be able to swim around the inside of this building and have the guests in there, looking down into this trench and being able to see the sea lions swimming. I wanted it so that the guests would have to kind of walk over a bridge and the sea lions could swim under them. But to get my barriers to work and have my staff area inside the building, I couldn't get that to work out properly. So it's kind of another little implied area. The sea lions can't actually swim under this little path right here that leads in. It actually stops right there, but it kind of gives you that impression that they can. Yeah, I have a couple little entrances there for the sea lions, so they'll be able to swim in and out both sides. And then this is my little staff area that I'm gonna have with a keeper hut and the break room. And then outside of it, we'll have the backstage area where the sea lions can kind of rest and get away from everybody. I was gonna keep the round theme going on the inside, but it just didn't work out that way. So it was better off just taking that out and doing it like this, It's kind of blocking off where I didn't want them to go. So I wanted to have some um, kind of like stalls, I guess, back there, which I forgot to record. Sorry. Um, you'll kind of see them just kind of pop up in a little while. But yeah, you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for here. Um, yeah, I wanted to have them, you know, to be able to swim around the perimeter, like the inside perimeter of the building. So everything's all concrete, um, very man-made looking, of course. Uh, just for cleanliness and whatnot. Yeah, had to use a lot of pieces in here, just kind of cover up all of the terrain, and then build up the walls and stuff. Right there is where they were supposed to be able to swim under, but they could not. So, and then had to make these little slopes and stuff so that the sea lions can move around everywhere easily. And now we are outside. One side of this here is going to be like a sea lion show. And then the behind it on the other part of the land area is just going to be their habitat. So I thought that worked out pretty cool. I wanted this to look as you know, realistic as possible as far as what the actual sea lion shows and stuff look like. I couldn't get the stage like at the water level that I wanted to. If I messed around with it even more, I probably could have, but most of the pictures and stuff that I've seen, the stage is right at the water height so that you know, it stays wet so that the sea lions can kind of slide across the stage and whatnot. But I wanted my keepers to also be able to walk out here to, you know, service the enrichment items that I put out and whatnot. So I had to keep it above the water level, so that kind of sucked a little bit, but I worked through it and just put a ramp in. They do actually climb up there and hang out. I think the only enrichment I ended up putting up there was like a beach ball. But yeah, they do go up there and kind of lay around and play with that ball or whatever. So I have yet to see them do it while the education talk is going, which is what I do on the outside here. Lining the bottom of this area with more concrete so it looks more realistic. And now here, trying to build the, you know, the classic sea lion playing the horns. I don't know if they actually do that anymore, but I found these African vases. I think that's what they are. That look like the horns. I wish I could recolor them, but I couldn't, so I just left them as they are. I thought that looked pretty cool. It was the best I could get it. And then just a little like platform that they would stand on. You know, they'd climb up on it and get on their front flippers and whatever. So yeah, working on the rocks behind it. I kind of jump around a lot on stuff. Like I said, it took me a few days, so it's kind of starting and stopping. So yeah, every time I started the game up, I kind of forgot where I left off and then just started on whatever I felt like working on. So it kind of makes it a little messy to watch, I guess, but oh well, it is what it is. Like here, it just jumped to me working on the outside barriers. And I've said before, I do like being able to like peek through rocks and little holes in the, um, the like the fences and in the barriers and stuff to see the animals. So I did that as much as possible here. Um, I blocked pretty much everything off with the faux rocks and just gave the guests certain viewing areas. And here I have a little pier that you can look at from behind. Use the facility trick to try to get just a small staircase there. And now we're back at the stage area. I needed a way for the keepers to get out there to, if I did put some sort of food enrichment, I wanted them to be able to get out there and refill it. So I put in that little door and made sure that they would be able to get in there. And then I made this little sign. Almost forgot that I was going to make it like this, kind of have the little curved thing. I had a completely different, just flat looking sign across the back, and then remembered that I wanted to do this. So I'm really glad I went back and changed it, because this looks a lot better. And it fit in there just perfectly. And then I put in the supports that would be behind it to attach it to the wall. And then these canopy pieces here, I think they're the African canopies. Don't quote me on that, but I just colored them completely white to kind of fit in with the color scheme I have going. Yeah, I looked at a lot of pictures and stuff, and I really liked the way it looked with the canopy going over top, kind of giving the stage a little bit of shade and stuff. So I decided to try to mimic that. They didn't fit together perfectly, so I just kind of spaced them out a little bit, and I think it looks a lot better than if I would have tried to make like a half dome, like a full one. So yeah, I like the way that looks. Just putting on a little finishing touch here with these little signs. I really wish there was more signs and statues of these guys. I don't know if there's more statues than what I have. I only have the one. I have not finished all the career modes, so I don't know if maybe I'm just missing something. But yeah, putting these up, I just wanted to make it look like waves. And then this part here, didn't know what I was going to do for sure. So I put in these little signs here and just put in the sea lion entrance, since I did have the sign above the keeper door, which worked out perfectly. You're probably wondering like why I put just a regular board over there, just kind of made it look a little bit better. I didn't have like the different lines and stuff, plus the one that said entrance was kind of centered, and I just thought it made it look a lot symmetrical, I guess. So yeah, these seatings, it does have the education talk point, so it's kind of emulating the what the sea lion show would be. And I really like that tile there. It kind of really fit in with the look I wanted So this whole stage area is kind of um, completely separate looking from the rest of the habitat. So yeah, this wall I made it really thick to kind of to hide that gap in between the glass and the terrain, where I couldn't get it any closer. So yeah, and then just filled everything in with that tile. Um, Put some concrete walls, kind of um, enclosing it all. Made it its own little section. Uh, I know a lot of these places would probably charge admission to see the show, so they kind of keep everything walled off and stuff. I didn't do any kind of like ticket booth or anything like that, so that's kind of just implied, I guess. And now we're working on more of the rock work around the whole habitat. Yeah, I used the faux rocks on all of this. Of course, zoos wouldn't truck in tons and tons of rock to build something like this that may or may not get torn down. So um, I decided to go with the faux rock. I'm really starting to like it. Wasn't a big fan of it when I first started playing the game, but um, it's grown on me. And this little area here, I knew I wanted a cave for guests to walk into and just kind of hang out and watch the sea lion swim around. So kind of made it really rocky looking, kind of as natural as I could, uh, as far as like the window areas and stuff go. Um, I do have a hard time building complete like cave systems with these rock pieces and stuff. They just never look totally natural. They always have like these flat roofs and stuff. This area here, um, just put in a little drink and food, like refreshment area. Um, Really sad. I really like that little part of the stairs where it just kind of has that little incline on the wall. Uh, Really sad that I kind of covered it all up with this, but maybe I'll find another place in the zoo to build another one, and then just kind of leave it open. I'm weird like that. But yeah, finishing up this outside area. I really like the way it all came together. Every time I start something like that, I'm like, oh, this is gonna look stupid, but then I end up liking it. So inside the habitat, um, I had a really hard time with this. I could not get the rocks in the right place, that still showed it being a traversable area. So if anyone has any clues on that, let me know. I had to delete a bunch of stuff and just leave it as the regular sand terrain, just because it just showed that they wouldn't walk on it, or whatever you call what they do, scoot around. Um, and then yeah, trying to get it to slope down into the water, they wouldn't go from the water to the rock, and yeah, I was just having tons of problems. So I just had to delete a bunch of stuff and just slope it down into the water, and now they can use it just fine. But here, putting in all these little accent rock clusters. The lowest section here, I just wanted it to be completely filled with these clusters of rocks. Just have a completely like gravelly bottom. So yeah, I just went to town on that. Just filled it all in. And then when I start planting, here we go. I can drop everything down and make it look like it's coming up through the rocks, and I tried to keep them, a lot of the stuff, planted into the little spaces where you can see dirt coming through, just to kind of keep it a little more realistic. I know you can't really tell as you're watching at the speed it is, but yeah, just note that they are in the little gaps. Then here I have the eelgrass kind of coming up out of the water and then transitioning to the buffalo grass. I just thought that was a cool little touch. With my aquariums and stuff that I have, I like it when the plants grow above the water line because they look totally different than what they do underwater. So I was just kind of trying to mimic that. Don't do a whole lot with the plants up here, just kind of some little bushes and grasses, mostly just sand and rock. And now you can see, this is the backstage area. You can see my concrete walls with the chain link fence. The pictures that I've seen for the backstage areas, that's kind of what they look like. Guessing the concrete is just because there's so much water and stuff, and then the fencing is probably pretty cheap. So I do have a bigger little area right here in the front where, in my mind they would keep like a mother and offspring in there if they needed to separate them. And then there's a couple of other little holding pens off to the side, and then on the right there's just some bedding down so they can just kind of hang out over there if they want. And then I figured I'd put in a little window here for the guests to look in, but I didn't want it just a normal flat window, so I tilted it in so people could kind of get a little bit better of a view looking down, since there's a elevation change. Yeah, there's a lot of concrete in this building, so there's not a lot of trim work to go with it. So yeah, I just kind of tried to, not a whole lot for as far as detail goes, but just trying to fill in the gaps, I guess. Like in the herpetarium, I had a lot of trim around all the windows and everything where I could cover up some of the mistakes or where things didn't quite line up, but the concrete kind of does that really well. The pieces kind of just meld together. So on this wall, I ended up making this sign to go across it. I was just gonna put a bunch of different information boards and whatnot, but I thought that was kind of boring. So I make this sign. Again, I use the different colors to kind of make it pop out a little bit more than what the 3D letters do. And then I put in this little signage here on the wall. Since you're looking into where they're napping, it just says, "Shh, I'm sleeping." So the guests will be a little bit quieter. Yeah, right. We know that doesn't work. So here's my OSHA violation for this build. I just put up these little posts with the rope to keep the guests from falling into this watery death trap, where the sea lions can swim around. I thought about building a ladder on each side so that if someone did fall in, they could potentially have a way out, but I didn't go that in depth with it. Outside of the building, I decided it needed some walls or some windows. Of course, it needs walls. Um, but yeah, I wanted like round porthole windows. So I found um, these African pieces. I think they are. Uh, I was surprised at how large they were, but they were perfect for what I wanted. So uh, yeah, and here you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier. The concrete just kind of melds together. You can't even see where they intersect or anything. Um, and then here I really lucked out, to be honest. Um, but I was able to just rotate these pieces around and they fit almost perfectly into place. I had to tweak some of the pieces a little bit just to kind of line them up, but yeah, it was a lot easier than having to rebuild every section. And then of course I forgot to put the glass in, so I had to go back and do that. Not too bad though. The door, I decided to keep the door shut this time instead of propping them open. Maybe the building's air conditioned and they want to keep the cold air in. And then, yeah, I just kind of lined the whole thing with the flower bed stuff. And I put in these little boxes inside to put my information signs on. Um, I take out, I eventually end up taking out the back wall on those and putting in some refreshments and an information. Um, what are they called? It's not the whole building. It's just the table. Yeah, it's kind of late tonight, so my mind's not working. But yeah, it's just the the person with the table inside there. So that kind of worked out. Here I put up a little sign that says, "Have you hugged your sea lion today?" Just for the staff. I was kind of proud of myself because there are no question marks, but I ended up making one out of a number 5, flipping it around, turn it upside down, and just kind of tilt it just right to get rid of that little line on it. So here again, went and made up some custom signs, just so different information, and popping down the same sea lion statue that I have everywhere. Uh, so here, I had to redo this outside sign. Uh, you may have seen the ones on Facebook or whatever. They kind of looked like yellow and blue Pokeballs. Wasn't a huge fan of it, so I went this route to make my sea lion center sign, and really glad I changed it because this looks a lot more professional looking. And I did have to go back and put up this little like background area, just because um, the ropes kind of poked through the lettering and everything. So just to get it to sit on there correctly and be able to do my little 3D trick here, just to make it look good. Yeah. Yeah, looks a lot better than the Pokeballs. Then of course I go through and I landscape everything around here. That took a long time. I did try to kind of keep everything um, symmetrical, I guess, and tried to keep the plants kind kind of like the temperate plants that would be used in the biome itself if they used them. Yeah, and they have these little planter areas on the inside, so I filled those guys out. And now here, I really like the idea of having a kind of like a splash pad. So I just made a little bump out here of the path and put in some fountains so the guests could potentially walk through the water squirting up. I have seen a few guests walk through them. Wish there were some animations that kind of went along with it, but there isn't. At least not that I've seen. But this little main plaza area here, just some rocks and statues just to show you that you're coming up to the sea lions. Put these barriers up and drop them down underground just to keep the guests from walking through. And then finishing up with the sea lion shores. Yeah, this build was a lot of fun. Like I said, it took me a while to do it. So usually I have videos out every other day or so. I think it's been about a week now, almost. So yeah, it's taken me that long. But I really like the way it turned out. I have been putting a lot more detail and thought into what I'm building instead of just throwing stuff in. So hopefully it shows, and hopefully you appreciate the time that is spent doing this. I really enjoy doing it. So really appreciate everyone that has stuck around and watched everything on the videos. Really appreciate everyone. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Really helps me out. Share the video if you want. That helps out the algorithm too. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I really like responding to everyone. So yeah, I'll let you sit back and finish out the cinematic here. Maybe the next video I'll do a little tour of the past few builds. Maybe do a full walkthrough of the herpetarium from beginning to end, and this little sea lion habitat here. So hope everyone has a great day or night depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.